The young man is special. Here are some numbers. No school has produced more first-round running backs than Penn State, and no player in Penn State history rushed for more touchdowns than Saquon Barkley. He is also the school's all-time leader in all-purpose yards, and alongside his head coach from Penn State, James Franklin, it is our great pleasure to welcome Saquon Barkley, who tonight will hear his name somewhere very early in the NFL draft. And thank you to both of you. And in a moment, we'll have Saquon explain why this will only be the second most significant thing that happens to him this week. But let's start just with this notion. And, Coach, I'd love you to chime in as well. This idea that a running back shouldn't go as high as a quarterback or other players because of the position. Why do you think it would be a mistake for teams to pass over Saquon?
Well, I think the biggest thing is what you're trying to do, I guess, in all businesses, is you're trying to reduce risk. And I get the history of it, but when you talk about Saquon, specifically Saquon, and you talk about all the positives and all the attributes that he has that you look for at that position: body type, speed, strength, power, vision, ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, the way the game has evolved so much. He has all those. But I think probably the more powerful thing is, on all these prospects, they're also looking for negatives. They're looking for issues. They're looking for red flags. And from everything I've seen and heard and what I've experienced myself, there really isn't any. So when you're able to get a player that I think has a chance to really change the game and really be able to make a huge impact on the NFL very quickly, it's hard to pass on that.
Saquon, there's been a bit of noise about specifically your marketing team wanting you to play in New York opposed to Cleveland. What's your preference?
I mean, my preference on that is, anywhere is I'm gonna be happy. Anywhere is gonna be a home for me. Obviously, if you kind of be stupid to not think if you don't want to play in New York, because my marketing team, the marketing in New York is definitely higher in other places. But at the end of the day, no one controls that. And something that I learned at Penn State, you only can control what you can control. And, I'm up for any challenge. If it's Cleveland, if it's New York, if it's Indianapolis, any team that blesses me with the chance to play my dream and live out my dream of playing NFL, I'm going to be more than grateful.
Well, listen, there's another reason why that might appeal to you. You're from the Bronx, and you grew up a Jet fan, so we have that in common. And I saw some video of you getting schooled by Curtis Martin in chess. Can you tell us that story?
Definitely did get schooled by Curtis Martin in chess. But he has been playing a lot longer than me, so he knew all the little tricks and tips to the game, and I just started. So I told him give me a couple months, and we could set that up again. But, that was an honor to meet Curtis Martin. And obviously I admire his football ability and what he did on the field, but getting to see him outside the field and see how he is as a person and the great advice that he gave me. You can ask anybody that was in the room that we all walked away like, wow, like, that was not expected. Like, obviously you knew he was a great football player, but he's an even better person. And as a running back and as a person, that's the type of person you kind of want to follow yourself out there. And he did it for, I don't know how long, over 10 years with 14,000 rushing yards, and did it the right way and stayed out of trouble. You kind of admire yourself after that, and you want to set an example for that.
Coach, you recently showed up in your players' class to surprise them. How would you best describe your relationship with your team?
Well, I think Saquon's a really good example. Very close relationship with both mom and dad. Very close relationship with Saquon. Want nothing but the best for him. But I'm a little bit of a psychopath constantly. I mean, Saquon could tell you that. I'm kind of extreme in everything I do, but it's mainly because I want the best for these guys, and I want the best for our university and for our program. So I didn't really just surprise the class. Saquon would tell you I get invited to that Social 119 class every year to be a guest lecturer. And while I'm there, I'm going to make sure that everybody's there and sitting in the front row and not wearing hats and all those types of things. So one young man happened to not be there that day, so there will be consequences.
Uh-oh.
I can't imagine what horrible fate befell him. I want to make sure that we get in here, again, Saquon, as we mentioned off the top, that while this is a very, very big night in your life, it will only be the second most significant one of the week. For those who don't know what I'm referring to, can you tell us about the other night and the birth of your new child?
Yeah, I just had a daughter. Me and my girlfriend just had a daughter, Jada Claire Barkley, and like you said, this is the second biggest thing that happened for this week. And I was talking to a couple of my friends the other day. I was like, you really couldn't write up a better story. I got blessed with able to be a father and be able to live my dream in the same week. It doesn't really get better than that. And obviously she's very young, but this is a moment that she's gonna be able to look back to and see her father get drafted and be able to walk up stage and live his dream.
Did someone tell me you're still wearing the hospital bracelet? Do I have that right?
Yeah, I am actually.
Keep that on as long as you
better
can.
than any suit. That's the thing I find fascinating about this, because you became a father this week. It's almost as if the other guys have only this to focus on, but you have the benefit of sort of new priorities, if that's okay to say. Is that right?
Yeah, great priorities actually.
Well, listen, Saquon, congratulations on all of the success. And Coach, thank you very much for taking the time as well. You will hear your name called early tonight, and I know it's the fulfillment of a lifelong dream. Best of luck to you. And if the Jets could get you at 3, I'd be delighted. I don't see it happening, but I would be absolutely delighted. But best of luck, whatever the night brings.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.